Right guys, welcome back to the chapter. I'm Baz, WELDERFABBER, and today we're starting this chapter with the heli lift going back to PJ fork trucks so they can sort out the isolator problem. Now then, within the battery pack that the boys are lifting on at the moment and the machine itself, there is a slight problem. As you can see, we've built the frame for the heli to sit in. And then once they get it running, they're going to drop it off at Blackpool for us, at the heli hangar where we saw the helis last time, if you remember, on a previous chapter. Basically for us to test it before they do a full hit on the painting side of it. Then it's going to come back for a full overhaul and paint job. So when it goes to the customer, it will be like a brand new machine. And there's the man I bought my first forklift off all them years ago. Proper mum. Still do it job. Still do it job. So as you can see, we've given it a little bit of a camber. I don't know if you can see on camera there, but on them PFCs we've given them a little bit of a camber that way, so when it puts the weight on off the heli, it should go straight. That's the plan anyway. It's up at full height there now. Are you done now, Pete? Yeah. Sound, Mum? I'll see you later, bud. He's off. So yeah, as it lifts, it should go nice and straight. And we've got Archie calling from Mirrorfield plant. So that's all the wear bars fitted now to this bucket for Dunelm, I think they're called. Ricker, the guy who gave us the work, so cheers for that, Rick. We'll just spin it over tomorrow and just check, make sure there's no cracks in any of these adapters. As you can see, the edge is ready for replacement. It's getting ready, it's quite far worn that, and it's gone very thin in the middles of each adapter. So when it gets to that stage, really, you got to be looking at changing that edge. But he's just got back from MOT. Passed, no problem. And we've also just purchased a PowerMax 85 plasma sink. So these are the cartridges that you use on a sink. So it does away with all the consumables that you'd have in your torch. In my opinion, miles better than the old system. You can actually connect them up to your phone or a computer system, and it'll tell you how many cuts it's done. And if you had a load of plasmas in a workshop, you'd be able to clock the hours on who's using how many consumables. Basically to see if they're abusing them, yeah? Abusing the machine. But I'd just like to say thanks to Callum at Brookside Welding for sorting us this out. Like he does with the Kempies, like he did with the Kempies. And we've also had a compressor fit today with a couple of reels around the workshop. Proper reels, and we'll go and talk to the guy who's just fitting them. Still waiting on the parts coming in for the shelving, which will be in tomorrow, so we can crack on with the van. And there's the new compressor we've got. Now I don't know much about compressors, but there's the other reel. I mean, you've done a proper job here, haven't you?
Driving best, pal.
So we've got a spare one here. That will run the plasma. Another reel here, just for a blow off on the plasma. So, just introduce yourself, my mate, to our audience.
Hiya. REM Compressor Engineering, my name's Ben. We've installed the compressor for Baz at WELDERFABBER and DTM. Obviously Baz needed air for the new plasma cutter that's coming, so plasma table.
The good thing about Ben is, he's literally 2 minutes away from our workshop, just round the corner, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it was an easy for me to decide to get it off him to fit this, because he's like, dead handy if I need a little bit. It's like I need another reel fitting on that stanchion down there now.
Yeah.
Them reels there, just tell us the audience about these, because I know they'll ask within the comments.
Heavy duty, full steel frame, half-inch hose, 20 metre long, fully retractable, just real sturdy quality product. Bolted it directly to steel girders.
Now that's what I have in my van, and I've never had any issues with one of them. I like that pipe work there. You've done well there.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
What's that little blue thing?
This is for drains, so your drains from dryer.
Yeah.
Obviously you need a dryer for plasma, for dry clean air. So you've got pre-filter, oil removal filter on back there, and then all your drains will feed into this little unit. Any oil residue gets taken away. So this pipe here going outside is clean, environmentally safe water.
So tell us how much power this will use.
7 kilowatts max. It'll do up to about 40 CFM on full load.
So what barrage will it, if I was to have a blow gun in my hand now, just kept my hand on it, what would it drop down to?
Well, it just regulates. So if you look in here, we've set this up. So I'll go in here, menu settings. So we've got 8.5 bar here, so it'll regulate between 8 and 10 bar.
So if I have my hand on an air gun now, at the end of that line, what would that barrage drop to? Would it keep at a certain pressure?
Yeah, so it'll sense when it drops to 8 bar, it'll kick in and then ramp up with demand, just so you don't get any drought of air. So you'll never have less than 8 bar really.
So if I've got a plasma like the 85 we just bought today running in here, and the plasma table running at the same time, this is going to keep up with it, no problem.
No problem whatsoever.
That's the main thing.
The plasma table requires about a 4 kilowatt compressor, so this is 7 kilowatts. So when the plasma's just running on its own, this will regulate to that.
Right.
So variable speed, it'll run up to 7 kilowatt. If you're not using 7 kilowatt, it'll regulate down.
And it'll be a lot less and less electric.
Oh, a lot less. Yeah. I mean, you had a 15 kilowatt piston before, so that'll have been absolutely guzzling juice. So, really efficient.
So SCC, who are there?
They're the manufacturer. So, German manufacturer product.
So it's German made.
That's your inverter there. So this is the part that regulates. So measures the pressure of the system. When the pressure drops, the inverter senses that, speeds the motor up.
There's not much to it, is there really?
No, motor here, no belts, directly driven to screw pump in here. That's your oil vessel, and then straight out into dryer and filters.
Well, if there is a problem, he's only 2 minutes away. Thanks, up.
You want to see it running or what?
Yeah, go on, fire it up.
It's just idle at the minute because you're not using anything.
Let's listen to the noise compared to what it was. So now it's just kicked in at 7.9 bar.
So soft starting, slowly ramp up.
That's quiet, isn't it?
As loud as it'll get. So that's at full capacity there, filling up to 9 bar now. That's what it'll regulate to. getting up to 9 bar, it'll slow right down now.
So it'll slow down and cut out at 10?
Yeah, so it's slowing down now to minimum speed because you're not using any air. So obviously it's realising that there's nothing running in factory now, so once it gets up to 10, it'll run up to 10 bar at minimum speed and then knock itself off. If you start using air for whatever reason, so for example, plasma table starts running,
yeah, so it starts revving up again, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Bang on, bang on. I'm happy with that, bud, you're doing a really good job there. But if anybody's looking for a compressor in and around, what area do you cover?
all over. We're in Preston, aren't we? But I mean, we go Blackpool, Liverpool,
Lancashire,
up
mainly
to
Lancashire where then?
Lancashire, yeah, Lancashire.
Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester. We go up. We have customers over in Huddersfield, Halifax.
REM compressors, I'll put a link in the description. There's the phone number if anybody wants to take it down. Ben, appreciate it. Right, mate, we will be doing more business with you.
Yeah.
Right, bud. Come on. Okay, so I'll change of plan with this bucket. All these adapters, we've got cracks in them on the other side, on the underside here, and this edge is getting thin. So I've been on the phone to Rick at Donnellan, and he's told me to change the edge. So that's a good thing for us and a good thing for them, because when this bucket goes back to work, it's going to go onto some hard ground. So we might even change these little banana bars here and put a thicker plate in the edge here, as you'll see over the coming chapters. Maybe in this one, might get it all in this one. Also been a change of plan on the MAN van. Now, all the shelving that come from model system, the end panels are missing. As I mentioned previously, there's parts missing, yeah? So the parts that are missing, where I'm going to take the van today, where we're going to take it to now, where they're going to fit the inverter and the lights and a couple of sockets in it for us, they actually supply and fit this stuff. Now then, there's a chance that they might have the end panels in for this. This is like the old Meccano set when we were kids. Dead easy to put together. Only take a couple of hours to put that together. You know what I mean? The one thing that the lads can't do where we're taking the van is fabricate the aluminium frames that we've done on the bench here. I've installed them drawers in there and that snap-on box with the steel top. So them boys can't do that, but they can do that. That's what they do day in, day out. And then we'll just have the compressor to fit when it comes back, and the rear step. Now that rear step is going to go on the back here, but it will cover two of the lights. It'll cover that light and it'll cover that light. Now then, Colin did have a big step that wanted to mount under here. You know, one of them big long steps that goes all the way across the back of the van. Well, that's just too low down. It was sitting down here, so it just get ripped off that. As soon as you go onto any site anywhere, it get ripped off. So we've gone with a step like on blue, which is here. Pretty much the same as that. Solid step. So what we're going to do now, I've got one of Maxival's fitters in to drive the van over to Manchester. I'm going to follow him over to Manchester in the Defender with the trailer, and we're going to pick some parts up for that bucket from MIN, Millings International Wear Parts. And then we'll get back. Callum can get that bucket cut apart. And then tomorrow, he's going on site with Sam. Lovely British Weber again. And here's lad whose van's it's gonna be. How you doing, lad?
You alright?
You alright? You a bit camera shy? What's up, lad? This is gonna be your van.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? You looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm really interested.
Yeah?
Good rig.
Proper rig that, mate. Proper bit of kit. So he's done you proud there as your boss. Callum, maybe. Right, we might get Callum some light bars. Anyway, we'll get this van over to Manchester. Alright, so here we are at VCL in Manchester, and this is Craig. Are you the owner?
Part owner.
Part owner. And that's Wayne. If you remember in the last chapter, he came over and did the van lining on the Max Civils van. Yeah. So these guys are going to build the shelving for us. To fit the shelving for us, but you've not got the gable end panels, have you?
We've not got them in stock, no.
Right, so when they get delivered to our workshop today, I'll have to fly out to Manchester again and drop them off for these guys to build it all together for us. How long will it take to do all the wiring and everything?
Should be done today.
Should be done today?
Yep.
Right, and what you put in it?
2 kilowatt inverter,
2 kilowatt inverter.
2 deep cycle AGMs, 50 amp battery to battery charger.
Right. What battery you put in it?
LAGM.
LAGM.
Deep cycle with large batteries.
Right. And is that on a split charger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the battery to battery charger is your split charge.
Is it? Right.
So new alternators, you can't just put a split charge relay in. Your alternators go up and down so much on the voltage.
Whereas in my van, I've got two batteries in back at van with a split charger, and it charges as you drop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a 2,600 watt inverter in mine, but you know what I mean? But anyway, you guys know what you're doing on that front. Are you going to be doing job, Wayne?
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be doing your racking.
You're going to do racking?
Yeah. So when I do your racking, the sparks will obviously do all the wiring.
Right.
The electrics.
So if you just take a look around in this guy's workshop, that's like a CNC machine that cuts all the timber out, and you've got a decent sized workshop here.
Yeah.
So for any van kit outs, I'll be getting in touch with these guys. Yeah, I will put a link in the description. I'd never used them before until we started doing this van. I will be using them in the future, no, definitely. Especially looking at workshop now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of van kit out firms out there, but these lads got back to me within 24 hours. You were in our workshop, were you?
Yeah, less
done.
Less than that, yeah.
Van done within less than 24 hours. So when somebody does something like that for me, you know what I mean, I always give them a good shout out, and hopefully you'll get a bit of business from it. You know what I mean? So I'll be back here today, and now we're going to go over to MIM and get some parts for the bucket. So here we are at Millings, and there we've got a 50mm by 330 by 1830 long edge. Now that is a hardened edge, that'll be between 400 and 500 Binel that. We've got some cat adapters, and we've got some Futura Wear Technology teeth that will go onto that bucket that Callum's on with. So I get most of my wear parts off these guys, and any rubber tracks for machines, any machine. And they've got all cutting edges at all sizes down at the bottom end of the yard there. Anybody looking for any wear parts? This should be your first point of contact. Now we're going to go and see little Arvin. So that edge is 1828 long, 1830, and the bucket's 1750, so that edge can stay at its length. We don't need to cut it down, we'll just let it overhang at each side. And look what's turned up as we've just got back. the parts that they need in Manchester for the van. So that's what we're missing out of that bundle. Them 3 gable ends for the shelves. A couple of little brackets. I also called in at Arvin's on my way back then. Picked this up. That's some special thread for a customer. And they just want that eye welding on there. Just to lift, just to use as like a little lifting eye. Lift a little ballast weight off a forklift, I think it is. This is also just come in from Scotland. This is off a Libra Dozer blade. So that'll have like a bearing in there. And what's actually damaged on the Dozer is this section is worn. So I'm just going to have to ring the customer about this template because I'm not 100% sure looking at that. Should it be the outer or the inner? I'm not too sure. But I need to get that gassed out template and then machined for that to sit in. And it'll be a case of going to Scotland to weld that onto the Dozer. Good little job that. Hey, Carl.
Nice drive from you, mate.
What were plasma like?
Oh, you forget how good they actually are after turns, don't you? You know, when
really smooth.
yeah, just when you've not used one for a bit, you've been on other brands, it's a bit different, isn't it? You forget how good they actually are.
Yeah, so at Hurt Plant we had an 85 and we had a 105. And next week we've got a Cibora 130 coming with the plasma table that we could take off and use as a plasma like this with a gun. Now then, the Cibora 130, I'd say it'd cut a good 80mm if we wanted to take it off the plasma table. But on the plasma bed itself, it will only cut 30mm. But we might just test it with a gun, put a gun on it and try it. You know, if the plasma table's quiet, we could pull the plasma off there and use it on plate ourselves, as we're using this one here now. So them sink cartridges are really good, like I mentioned. And good for gouging as well. All you need to do is change the end to the gouge end, which is the green one. So what we'll do now, we'll get the adapters tacked onto this edge. Them adapters there. We'll mark them out where they need to be on this edge. That's weldable paint, but we'll grind the paint off anyway. We always get a smoother run if you grind the paint off. And then you can weld that in the flat position, so it doesn't need to be on the bucket, you can weld it on the bench. Whereas if it was a thinner edge, if it was say like 25-30mm material, and it was mild steel, it wasn't hard, it'd bend if you welded it off the bench, on the bench. So if you're doing a smaller bucket, like a 20-ton dig, and you had a 30mm edge on it, you want to weld that to the bucket before you weld the adapters to the edge. I have made that mistake in my early days, I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to ring Michael up, the lad who drives the van for Max Civils. He'll have to come back and fly these over to Manchester for us to get that van back tomorrow. So then we can get the compressor in it and get it finished off, ready to go to work for them men. These are some little wheels that we've got in for, we're going to make some beam trolleys. So I just need some 25mm round bar, and we're going to make some little trolleys so you can wheel about some steel sections, like say that big beam, you wanted to wheel it around on site. So that's a 254 universal column, that heavyweight one. So you'd have to use 2 bogies on that to move that beam at that length. But I think that's getting cut into 2 anyway. So we'll make them little trolleys big enough to take a 305 beam. But then you have to be careful on the weight loading if it's only got inch bar within the wheel. We'll show you them as we make them anyway. So these teeth now can go back to the customer. They might be able to use them on another bucket, as we've gone to cat teeth for Ture. In my opinion, they are the best tooth on the market. Oh, we'll crack on with this bucket. So I've just landed at PJ Fork Trucks to look at the heli lift, and as you can see, it's mobile. You can see the little bit of a camber there, can't you, in the top of that PFC still. So I'm hoping when the weight goes on it, it'll be nice and straight with the heli on. So this is Rob, one of the technicians here. All right, Rob.
How are we doing?
Just tell us what the problem was with it.
Problem was, well, we initially were worried that it was going to be an inverter, but just turns out it's a little fan for the inverter to cool the inverter. So
That's all it was?
That's all it was. It wasn't sending a signal to the MCU, so yeah.
Right. So just drop it down for us, bud. Down to the floor. Oh. So your personal opinion on that now, what do you think that'd lift as it is?
As it is, probably about 2.5, I reckon, something like that.
About 2.5 ton?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so the heli doesn't weigh 2.5 ton. You know what I mean? So we should be well in with the frame as it is there now. I'm happy with that. What do you think about it?
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a bad job at all. Yeah.
Easy enough to drive.
Let's just hope it fits, eh?
I know, that's the thing, we hope it fits. Now then, the next step is we either take this to the helicopter or get a helicopter to come here.
I reckon the helicopter should come here, to be honest, mate.
Get a heli here.
Yeah.
You know, so this is built for a squirrel. I think they're called a squirrel helicopter anyway. So I'll speak to the guys at the hangar and see if we can get a heli here. If we can't, we'll get this transported over to Blackpool. See that, dude? Back in the shop. Colin's well on with that. You can weld it in the flat position like that without the plate bending. We've got Tobias in here. He's just getting this big 254 UC column going out. It's been fitted tonight, this. We've got a crane going on site at about 6 PM. Finish welding it, get a bit of paint on it, and we've also had to send a fitter down to London today, Juicy, from Moorfield plant, to put an O-ring on the top of the transmission, as there was a little weep coming from the top of the transmission, and we had to send some heat sealant with it just to stop the oil weep. It's a bit of a pain, but only half an hour job on site, but it has to be right, doesn't it? So you might see it on Daniel's channel soon. All right, Tab, has it run out of wire? Is it? That's what's going on. Oh, no. Oh, every time when you're in a rush. Brr. Proper welder. We'll put that in bin, Tab. So I just got back to the workshop and I thought I'd give out down a lift fitting this beam. That's a 254 UC. Heavy weight, weighs about 1.5 ton down, yeah?
Just shy of, yeah, about 1.3-ish.
1.3 ton. So we're just over in Fullwood, Preston. 7 o'clock at night, we're just waiting on the crane. We'll show you where we're going. A couple of the boys are up there now. It's going in that house in the corner. We've got to lift it over the roof of the house. And so we just moved a lot of vehicles. We brought the pickup with all the crane pads on. As you can see there. It's getting busy. It's getting busy. Another car coming behind me here, look. Getting busy. So they're the pads. I'm just going around back of this house here. So the boys that we know, pals of ours, are putting an extension up. We've already put the 2 columns in. As you can see, one there and one at this side. So the reason why we're doing it now, well, late at night really, for a crane, is because we couldn't get one any sooner and the boys need it in, so we thought we'd jump on it and get it done. So we'll just wait for the crane to get here. So Nick, the crane mon's turned up. Just getting in position now. Just going to move a couple of cars out of the way. We'll put an outrigger there where that car is. Will not drive. Put the mats down. And go right over the top of that house. Now we've got the crane rigged up, chains on. We mark the centre of the beam and then we'll go 1.5 meters each way. Straight up and over. That's the plan anyway. Let's see how it goes. Are you rigging?
Yeah, I'll rig it, yeah.
And the rain's coming. The rain never stops in England.
What we'll do, we'll land it on them blocks at back.
Yeah.
This case is the top here. Land it on the blocks, and as we stand it up, it'll put it right up tight at back at house so we don't damage soffit and gutter. We don't want to retouch it house. Tight up to back at house.
And there's the house owner. Standing back watching. Now we've got it hooked up, we've got a tagline on it there, we'll grab that when it gets round back of the house. Or Dan will signal to me and I'll signal to the crane driver. our Dan's now on the phone to him. We're going to get as close to the house as possible. What we'll do, we'll land it on these blocks and then turn the beam up so to get it close to the house, keep it away from the soffit.
Stop. And then slew right a touch, slew right. Rope up. Rope up. Rope up. Rope up. Rope up.
And that's it in.
Go fast as you like. Rope up. Rope up. Rope up. Rope up.
We'll just put that block of wood against the house then.
I'll tell you when you clear the back. Rope up.
Turn the beam with the chain locked.
Rope up. Rope up. Rope up. Rope up.
Now the columns will be drilled in position. And that's my job here done. My little brother can sort this on his own now. So whilst our Dan's wrapping up, I've just pulled up at Deepdale Preston and I'm going to go and get myself a Nando's. So we'll continue this chapter in the morning. New day, and I didn't sleep a wink last night. And the reason why I didn't sleep is because when I worked late last night with my brother, let's just go back to that job. That job was like a job that I didn't need to go on with my brother. He could have done that easily on his own with the lads on site. Now then, the lads on site are mates of ours. The house that we were doing the job on are friends of ours. Do you know what I mean? The crane driver, we know the crane driver, Nick, and that's what us Northerners would call having a crack. Yeah. So we don't, you know, I didn't need to go and give him a lift there, but I thought I'd go and give him a lift and just have a bit of fun with my little brother, shall we say. And I'll put a picture on screen now of my little brother. Because I like putting pictures on screen of my little brother as a baby. Because I still see him as my baby brother. Do you know what I mean? Although he's 40 years old. But yeah, that was us having a crack last night, getting that beam behind that house, and then the lads can go and fit it with the genie lifts once they've got the brickwork out. You know, and I'll go back to the transmission as well that we went down to yesterday, that Juicy went down to. We changed, like I mentioned earlier, we changed the O-ring and resealed the plate on top of the transmission. Now then, what I didn't mention is that the plate on top of the transmission was a 2-bolt hole plate, and we replaced it with an upgraded 4-bolt hole plate off Libra. So it was an upgraded thing, so that tells you something for starters. If there was a weak on that plate, yeah, they've obviously had issues in the past, haven't they? You know, the sleeping issue last night was when you get home late tonight, you've got to go through all your messages on social, and you've got to go through all your messages on social, because each one of them messages is a potential job. Right, and especially LinkedIn now, I don't really bother with LinkedIn, but maybe I should bother with it a little bit more, because there's quite a bit of work coming through that, and pricing a lot of work through LinkedIn. So I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments if you're on LinkedIn and I should do more on LinkedIn. You know, it could be more. I've never really bothered with LinkedIn. You know, but I'm starting to a little bit now. Now I'm on my own. I didn't need to bother before, didn't I? But I think it's more of people like bigging themselves up a bit. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I'm a boss, and I'm not into that kind of thing. You know, but everybody seems to be a boss on there. You know, a director or something. But I don't know. Maybe I should take it a bit more seriously. I don't know. So yeah, I was going through my messages till late last night, and like I say, there's quite a few inquiries on LinkedIn there that I'm going to go through this morning and contact the customer of potential work. And Instagram, you know, Instagram is a lot of messages on Instagram, and if I don't get back to you on Instagram, don't think I'm being ignorant. It's just because there's too many messages, and there's too many messages and people asking like little questions like how much gas pressure you're running there, how much what grinding disc are you using, what this, what that, you know, just simple little questions like that. But maybe you guys want to know more information, what gas pressure you're running on the welders, what, you know, what gas, what wire, what size wire, what make wire. Maybe you want to know that information more. Let me know in the comments again, you know. And anyway, I'm just pulling up at the workshop. I've got Callum out on site today doing the flatbed for Archie. He's cutting the C-sections off the bottom of the flatbed to replace, because they're all damaged. So we're going to replace them with an angle iron and a flat bar going over top. We're also going to replace the rear wheels because they're damaged at the back end, the row skip. And I'd say, guys, we've probably got enough for a chapter here. I try and keep an eye on the time that we're doing these videos, because obviously we've not got the director on the road with us anymore, which we will do at some point. We'll get him back on the road at some point, but at the moment we're not. So I'm trying to judge it in my head how much I've actually filmed to put a chapter out for you guys, and I think there's enough here. So yeah, if you do like these chapters, give them a thumbs up, give them a like, give us a comment. It does help the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. I'm a little bit knackered this morning. See you soon.